I frankly think that crisis initiation is really tough. And it's very hard for me to see how the United States president can get us to war with Iran. Which leads me to conclude that if, in fact, compromise is not coming, that the traditional way of America gets to war is what would be best for U.S. interests. Some people might think that Mr. Roosevelt wanted to get us into World War II, as David mentioned. You may recall we had to wait for Pearl Harbor. Some people might think Mr. Wilson wanted to get us into World War I. You may recall he had to wait for the Lusitania episode. Some people might think that Mr. Johnson wanted to send troops to Vietnam. You may recall he had to wait for the Gulf of Tonkin episode. We didn't go to war with Spain until the until the Maine exploded. And may I point out that Mr. Lincoln did not feel he could call out the Federal Army until Fort Sumter was attacked, which is why he ordered the commander at Fort Sumter to do exactly that thing which the South Carolinians had said would cause an attack. So if, in fact, the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if somebody else started the war. One can combine other means of pressure with sanctions. I mentioned that explosion on August 17th. We could step up the pressure. I mean, look, people, Iranian submarines periodically go down. Someday one of them might not come up. Who would know why? We can do a variety of things if we wish to increase the pressure. I'm not advocating that, but I'm just suggesting that this is not a either-or proposition. Of, it's just sanctions has to succeed or other things. We are in the game of using covert means against the Iranians. We could get nastier at that.
Hey YouTube world, Harvest is Plenty. Thanks for stopping by to check out the video. Have a couple things I want to share with you today. Today is March 25, 2026. One is a movie recommendation. The other is a news story that was brought to my attention by one of my friends. But first, let's talk about the intro. That was an Israeli lobbyist speaking at a function over a decade ago. And he was extolling all the previous false flags that were used to get America into war. And he says, and you guys heard him, that a false flag would be justified. An attack on America, false flag attack on America would be justified to get America into direct war or conflict with Iran because it would serve America's interest. Imagine that. An attack on American soil that would kill American citizens. That it would be justified because it would be good for U.S. interest. This is an Israeli lobbyist saying these things. Now, I did a video on my channel concerning Operation Northwoods. On my old channel, I did also a video on Operation Gladio and some other things. And there are factions within governments who sit back and plot schemes to pull these false flags off. Like 9/11 was a false flag attack to justify war, power, accumulation of wealth and money, regime change in countries that don't want to play ball, and those types of things. So think about that. If a false flag attack occurs in America, a major one, this year, next year, think about how that would affect you and yours, how that would affect your career, your dreams, hopes, and goals, because everything would change. If you think about 9/11, there was no TSA, there was no Homeland Security, there was no laws that say if you send $10,000 or if you take out $10,000, from the bank, they got to report it, and all these other laws and things that came up since 9/11. There was no Patriot Act. If you went to the airport, you could actually walk with your family or with your guests or with your friends all the way to the gate before they get on the plane and watch them get on the plane. Now you can't do that. Now you have to take off your shoes. Well, you used to have to take off your shoes. And all of these other things that came about since 9/11. Think about what the next major attack on U.S. soil will do when it comes to your personal rights and freedoms. Think about that. And whose interest will it really serve? Now, this movie that I'm recommending, Edge of Darkness, if you've never seen it, take a look at it. Stars Mel Gibson. Most people never heard of it. Mel Gibson plays the role of a detective in Boston. He has a daughter, and I won't, spoil it for people, just giving you a kind of an idea. And his daughter stumbles upon a plot to hatch a false flag attack in America. And this false flag attack will be blamed on some Middle Eastern nation. Do you want to guess what nation it will be blamed upon? And I'll just leave it at that in terms of the movie Edge of Darkness. It's pretty good. I'm suggesting that you watch it. Here's what I would like to leave you with before I move into the news story that I want to share with you guys. Continue to pray without ceasing. Keep God first, of course. Make sure that you prepare. Get your house in order. Have a plan, because we will not be warned when these things take place and happen. It will just happen overnight or in the morning or during rush hour, whenever. Whether it's a bombing, a Mumbai-style shooting, or a major cyber attack. Whatever these Luciferians are planning. But we will have to survive and protect and provide for those that are under our care. So make sure that you're ready. Until then, keep loving your heart, continue to smile, enjoy life. Don't fear, because God didn't give us the spirit of fear. So don't fear, because everything is under God's control. It's under His timing. They're trying to forerun prophecy and do these things before God's prophetic timeline. But He's not allowing it to happen until the restrainer stops restraining. But eventually it will happen. According to the book of Revelation, the book of Daniel, and some other books of the Bible's biblical prophecy, it's going to happen. The Antichrist will rise to power and will make war against the saints. This is in biblical scripture. But until then, pray, prepare, protect yourself at all times. Live a happy and joyous life. I know it's very stressful to do those things, when these evil beings are hatching plans and plots to kill us all. But the world didn't give us happiness, so the world can't take the happiness that we have away from us. That's all I have for you today. I love you guys. Until my next video, may the good Lord continue to bless you and your family.
Is Israel actually plotting a devastating 9/11 style attack on US soil after Iran's big bombshell? Iran's top security official claims Israel is currently hatching a massive terror plot in America. Ali Larijani fiercely warns the world, reiterates Iran absolutely does not back terror programs. Iran previously accused Israel of orchestrating deadly drone attacks in the Gulf, now exposing a false flag operation. Did Israel and America covertly reverse engineer Iranian shaheds to ruthlessly target the wider Gulf region? Iran's highest-ranking security official publicly claimed that Israel is currently plotting a deceptive, false flag, covert operation specifically designed to further escalate this regional war. Iran Security Council Secretary Ali Larijani formally accused Israel of planning a complex terror conspiracy during his official remarks delivered precisely on March 15. Openly mocking Israel as Epstein's team, Larijani definitively alleged that various new terror plots inside America are currently being secretly hatched. Larijani further alleged that Israel will intentionally carry out a massive destructive plot much like 9/11 directly upon US soil merely to falsely blame Iran's government. Larijani reiterated that Iran is absolutely not at war with everyday Americans and firmly remains completely opposed to any dangerous international terrorist programs. Ali Larijani said, and I quote, "I've heard that the remnants of Epstein's team have devised a conspiracy to create an incident similar to 9/11 and frame Iran for it. Iran is fundamentally opposed to such terrorist programs and has no war with the American people. We are defending our country against an aggression launched by the US and Israel. Iran is standing tall in doing so in order to teach the aggressors a lesson." Unquote. The Iran Foreign Ministry additionally claimed Israel was covertly behind recent destructive strikes directly on Saudi Arabia and Oman, reported by Middle East Eye. Iran forcefully accused the US and Israel of orchestrating a coordinated, diabolical plot designed to falsely blame Tehran for those recent regional drone strikes. On March 15, Qatar Al-Anbiya officially claimed that the US and Israel successfully reverse-engineered its highly effective Shahed 136 military drone. The central allegation was that US-Israel forces are currently using a modified Lucas drone to covertly carry out those destructive attacks. The Iran Armed Forces also officially claimed that several deceptive false flag operations across the wider region were successfully carried out. Iran categorically alleged that it had absolutely no operational role in recent devastating drone attacks perpetrated on NATO nation Turkey, allied Kuwait and Iraq. Qatar Al-Anbiya formally rejected claims suggesting Iran was behind the recent attacks, entirely dismissing them as enemies' tricks. Attention to all neighboring countries and the Muslim people of the region. The defeated enemy in the military battlefield and in political coalition against Iran has resorted to trickery and deceit and, with a diabolical plot, has copied the Iranian Shahed 136 drone and, under a new name, the Lucas drone, attacks unjustified targets in regional countries. The enemy's goal is to foster pessimism and level accusations against the Islamic Republic of Iran. The ultimate aim is to create discord between Iran and its neighbors, thereby undermining the legitimate and legal defensive actions of Iran's armed forces. Governments and nations of the region should know that the Islamic Republic of Iran's defense doctrine against military aggressions by the United States and the Zionist regime is based on a completely legal and logically sound foundation. The Islamic Republic of Iran, as it has repeatedly announced, only targets the centers and interests of the United States and the Zionist regime, and wherever it targets, it takes responsibility for it in an official announcement and will be accountable for its consequences. Examples of these enemy tricks are the malicious attacks on centers in neighboring and friendly countries such as Turkey, Kuwait, and Iraq in recent days and the attribution of it to the Islamic Republic of Iran's armed forces. The swift and wise reactions of countries' officials to these deceptive and diabolical moves will nip this conspiracy in the bud. Being deceived by Satan and his divisive positions will only encourage him to spread it. Therefore, it is essential that we trust one another and, by maintaining unity and cooperation, make the foreign aggressor enemy regret persisting in these machinations. Meanwhile in America, the popular conservative political podcaster Candace Owens has also officially made distinctly similar allegations. Specifically, Candace Owens cited recent unverified reports of Trump administration officials moving to secured military housing as her primary reason. Owens, posting on X, then publicly questioned if mainland America should realistically anticipate a destructive Israeli false flag domestic operation soon. However, there is currently absolutely no official clarification regarding if Trump's executive team are indeed secretly moving into fortified protective military housing,